This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on ESPN Radio and ESPNradio.com.
This has turned into all Philly college basketball radio. This really has, because 2 days ago, we had Fran Dunphy, of course, played at LaSalle, and then coached at Penn, and then he grew up in Philly, and now is a coach at Temple. Then we had Herb McGee, the legendary coach at Philadelphia U, winningest college basketball coach of all time. He joined us yesterday. Now we go to Richmond, where a Philly guy, Chris Mooney, joins us on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. All Philly all the time. For somebody who didn't grow up around Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, just how big is college basketball?
Oh, college basketball in Philadelphia is great. Basketball in general, I think, from the Sixers to the Big Five schools to small college hoops, high school, the Sunny Hill League, I'm sure you're familiar with, that everybody in Philly grew up playing in. It's huge. You know, there's such a great flavor to it. Games at the Palestra. We used to have doubleheaders at the Palestra all the time. It's the best.
All right, so now you take your style, your Princeton style, from Air Force to Richmond. This has been a building process, and especially your backcourt's been together their entire careers. Did you know that you had this type of team coming into the season, a team that to this point could lead the Atlantic 10?
Well, we did. We thought that we had a really good team going into not last summer, but the year before. We had a trip to Spain planned, and we thought we would be a really, really good team. And one of our players, Dan Giroux, our center, who was all conference as a sophomore, injured his knee and was out for the season. So we had a little bit of a setback there, even though we still did well last year and won 20 games. That was on hold as far as when we could challenge for the title. And so we thought coming into this year with some veteran players, especially our backcourt, and with the return of Dan, that we really could do something very special and compete for the A-10 title.
And I would make the case, Chris Mooney joining us, Richmond head coach. They're off to a 22-6 start. They've won, what is it? Is it 9 in a row now or 10 in a row?
I think it's 8 in a row.
All right, 8 in a row. That's right, 8 in a row, 10 out of their last 11 games in the A-10, which could well get 4 or 5, maybe even 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. Am I wrong to think, despite the fact you've had this great year, Giroux still hasn't been back to the player he was before he hurt the knee, and yet you guys have still kind of gotten to the expectations that many people had?
Yeah, you're probably right. And as you know, having played, it's not always the points per game or the obvious statistics that measure a player's contribution, and he's been tremendous in so many ways. As a leader, as a defender, I think he's taken 30 charges already on the year. He's an excellent passer, which is very important the way we play. But he hasn't scored at the rate that he scored as a freshman and sophomore. As a matter of fact, he just even with his points not being as high, he's already scored 1,000 points in his junior season. So, yeah, I think we've been able to kind of rally around him, and he's really been more of a facilitator probably than he was in his first 2 seasons.
I know this is blasphemy to say, but you do realize it's better off for the league if you drop a couple of these last games. Xavier, Dayton, Charlotte, especially Dayton and Charlotte could really, really use a win. Do you ever think about it? Like, it's good for us if we win, and it's huge for me personally, and great for these kids to win an outright conference title. On the other hand, our league's been crying for some respect out there, and despite the fact that numbers point to 4, 5, 6 teams in the NCAA tournament, and you'd be better served for the conference to lose a couple of these last couple games.
Well, definitely, as a fan, I could see where that would help. But I do think we're going to get. I do think we're going to get at least 5 teams in. I really do. Just, as you start to go through the season and you start to study the numbers and you look a little bit more closely, especially this week, we've had some time off. I think our teams have done more than enough, and we don't necessarily want to help the conference that much, but I do think that the A-10 is in really, really, really good shape, and especially as you said, if those teams, and including us, things change so fast, but if the teams that are challenging for the bids can finish off strong or pretty strong, I think we're going to be in good shape. And then you never know, in the conference tournament, can one of those teams that maybe seems like they're falling kind of come through and either win the tournament or make a nice run.
Sure, no doubt. Chris Mooney, Richmond head coach, joining us in the Subway Fresh Take Hotlines. Doug Gottlieb Show on ESPN Radio, ESPNradio.com. How closely to the true Princeton style do you think your team parallels?
Well, I think it's funny. None of the guys like John Thompson or Sidney Johnson, none of the guys who or even Coach Curl would ever call it the Princeton offense. So we have a different understanding of it than, probably the general college basketball fan. And our understanding is probably just the principles that it's based on: spreading the floor, guys who are versatile, guys who can dribble and pass and shoot, and not at all based on, a lot of people think about holding the ball and shooting the ball at the last second of the shot clock. And I think from that point of view, we do maintain or retain most of or all of the principles, and that's kind of the way that we know how to play and the way we've taught our guys to play. But at the same time, we probably shoot the ball much more quickly than the Princeton teams that I played on, and we probably maybe take more chances in transition and try to push the ball, maybe use a ball screen more than we ever did at Princeton. So I think that if people watch it, I hope they notice how well we share the ball and how versatile the players are. Other than that, and if there's a backdoor play here or there, but other than that, I think we're just we're kind of playing basketball and being very aggressive.
All right, you are like third or fourth or fifth in the generation of coaches coming down that Princeton tree. You're taking on Chris Mack, who of course has to replace Sean Miller, who did a magnificent job during his time at Xavier. You play them Sunday. What sort of challenges do they present, not just in terms of talent but style in comparison to your style?
Well, Xavier is a great team and obviously a great program, and for 30 years now. They're very big, very athletic. They can be dominant on the backboard. They bring Kenny Freese, who's a 7-footer who would probably start on many BCS conference teams off the bench. So just gives you an indication of how big and long and strong they are. And they're guys at the NBA testing and before the draft, they always do they always bench press the most weight and do the most reps. So there's really an emphasis there. So I think they present problems in so many ways. Crawford is a great player who's a kind of an All-American type candidate, and he's big and strong for his position. So I think maybe our speed has really served us well this year, and our versatility, our ability to shoot the ball from outside and score in different ways. But they present such a challenge because of how strong and physical they are.
How come you don't go by doctor? You have a doctorate, don't you?
I don't. My wife does.
I thought you had. Oh, your wife has a doctorate in psychology?
Yeah.
She ever help you out? She ever break down your team?
All too often, Doug. All too often.
I didn't know I don't know how often you have to call on her, but that's cool. You go home. Do you actually lay in the bed or you lay on the couch?
Well, right. Well, when I first got home, on the couch, and her doctorate is. Her training seems to be a little bit different than I got from Coach Curl at Princeton, that's for sure.
The language, obviously, very, very different.
Right, exactly.
Hey, Chris, congratulations on a magnificent start. I hope this is just the start to the season. Obviously, a big postseason ahead. Good luck. This is a tough run here at the end of the season. We'll talk to you real soon.
Oh, thanks so much, Doug. I appreciate being on.
No, I appreciate having you on. Chris Mooney, all of our guests appear in the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. It's Subway Footlong Nation Appreciation. You can win free footlongs for a year. Official rules at SubwayFreshBuzz.com. Good Philly guy, good young coach, really good team. Great game this Sunday as they take on X in Cincy.